This is the Levels Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Horo, otherwise known as the Horoscope, joined as always by my co-host, Triple OG, Willie Mason, and unfortunately, old DJ Tiger Town. We upgraded him, OG.
It's good to see him.
Upgraded him in first week with the new upgrade.
Fucking, what's he got? A little bit of a cough, a little dry cough he had. Got the black lung or something. He had the black lung and he's having a day off. They breed him tough out in Picton. Don't worry about that.
Does he go back to TNT after this?
Yeah, he does. He's demoted.
He's demoted back to TNT.
I didn't think he'd. I thought he'd get show up. Yeah. I thought he was bluffing.
He didn't deserve the DJ Tiger Town.
No. Old mate from Hello Sports. He's in bed. He's dead.
Yeah.
He looks dead.
Tommy. Yeah, he looks like he's an awesome.
Tommy looks like he's done. But at least he tried to get out of bed. I reckon TNT hasn't even tried.
Yeah. Well, let's call him TNT because TNT.
That's that age group. No resilience, no mental toughness. He just shows all these weaknesses.
You talk about it all the time. You know, COVID's really fucked these kids.
Yeah. A little bit of a cough. I reckon he's like, I got COVID. I'm done. Day off, please.
Before we get on the show, OG, make sure you do all the good stuff. Like and subscribe. Go on, leave us comments. I've got the account going now, so I'm getting in the messages. Got back to a few replies on the weekend. Again, all been positive. Shout out to everyone on the constructive criticism off the back of that. Obviously, heaps of people were we had a lot of support behind us. Everyone's still, let the OG go. Just let the big dog roll. Like, there's some proper dogs in there who are getting after it. But look, at the end of the day, we had a really good week last week, mate. So, like, I enjoyed the shows. You know, again, whenever guys that try to push away from that, if there's people who think we can improve or people that like our takes, but if someone disagrees in particular with the take that we got and they throw out a good point, I love that sort of shit.
Yeah, I'm with it. I mean, I've replied to a few of the guys. They're like, oh, you know, really respect you, like owning up for it and everything. It's like a fucking committed murder or something like that. I was like, yeah.
There's too much carry on.
If I fuck up, like just give me the heads up because we're just sitting here talking and, you know, we've got to talk really close into the mics. I mean, sometimes I get carried away and fucking over here. But like, you know, we've got to...
With theatrics as well.
It's new mics and everything like that. We've got to get used to this shit.
Yeah. All right, biggest takeaway from round 4, AG?
Biggest takeaway from round 4. It's defense again. It's the timing of tackles. You know, I looked at Jack White and the kick pressure, what they're putting on these kickers. You just can't. It's obviously there's so much onus on kick pressure, right? It's a big, big thing. So, you know, you put maximum pressure on the kickers and they're vulnerable, right? When they're kicking. You just got to fucking pull out. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't commit unless it's around the waist and stuff like that. Yeah, you got to understand these players are fucking aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, he's got that wild side in him. You know, and I just think even on every single thing when there's so much pressure, like Kafusi, so much inside pressure, it's fucking hard to slow down. It is hard to slow down, and you've got to have that timing perfect. So just in case, you know, you don't want to see these kids get suspended by the end of the year or during Origin for something that they could actually handle and what they can control.
If you were coaching at the Bulldogs, or you coach, I don't imagine you're doing with the kickers, but you coach the middles, would you almost like without giving? You know, you obviously don't want to give away tactically, but for me, if I was a player, just not even coaches telling me, I'd be trying to put as much pressure on the kickers as possible. But I wouldn't even be trying to I'd just give them the little push.
Just get in their way. I mean, I think Kick-Out does it the best.
Yeah.
Kick-Out gets charge downs.
Yes.
You know, like you're risking a lot there because you're risking getting kicked in the head.
Yep.
Like I think who copped the kick in the head? Was it Horsburgh? Was it the Horsburgh or Gilbert? Someone copped a doozy in the head.
Oh, so there was the try in the Cowboys Titans game where Chester put in the kick and then he kicked it straight into
someone's face.
Someone from the Titans' face. It rebounded and they scored a try off it. Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah, and it was just like if you put kick pressure on, and you do not get coach to put pressure on and tackle them, especially if they're in the air. Like Moses does it the best. Like he will always kick and jump. He doesn't kick.
And as soon as he gets contact,
he doesn't kick like Burton. He doesn't kick like those traditional guys because he puts everything behind it. Hence, kicking over 1,000 meters. Well done, kid.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 meters. I think it's an NRL record.
That's crazy.
It's mental. But, you know, guys like Burton, those traditional kickers, you know, one leg's always on the ground and they really fly through the ball. But like, you just got to be careful.
Well, Mitchie plays for it.
inside pressure, all that kind of stuff. What Kaufusi's doing, what all these really good back rows are doing. You just got to get it right, because if you fucking get it wrong, you could be sitting on the sidelines for like 3 or 4 weeks, like Kaufusi is at the moment. So you just got to be careful. That was my biggest takeaway. Just be more disciplined, be more aware of what's happening. These kickers are vulnerable at the moment, and while they're in the air and everything like that, and even with the halves going to the line, once they turn their back, that's what they're cracking down on. If they're still going forward and they're facing forward and you hit him from the side, like Kaufusi was in the first couple of rounds, but as soon as he turned his back, you hit in the back, they want to rule that out.
Yeah, but I don't like it. I don't like it
either.
Imagine a coach telling you back in the day, fucking 04, the Dogs of War, if they're going, hey boys, just take it easy on that back when he turns his back, just in case, because look, we don't want to get penalised, you know? Like, you're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
If Joey Johns plays fucking close to the line, or
he's going to get it.
Or you know, Jonathan Thurston was in your team, but like, you know, the Cooper Cronks of Melbourne and that, you've got to let them know.
But
otherwise they'll rip into the line with no abandon, because they won't be worried about getting hit, and then essentially you'll be getting skinned on the outside.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And I mean, like, I think what they want to do is when they have turned their whole body that way and they're not even looking straight, it's not like that, and they're going, and then they get cracked in the ribs. Like, I'm not for that, and they've just passed the ball. If they're like that and they've still got the ball, bang. It's a bang, bang play.
Yeah.
It's a bang, bang play. But if they've released it just like when they thought when Kaufusi just released it and he had his back turned, that's what they don't want. Because he's vulnerable at that stage, and he can't brace himself. He doesn't know where the hitters are. But if he's facing forward and he's just got a little bit of a twist and he's like that and he's still got the ball, bang. You can still do that. But like, the good halves will still dig into the line and cop that hit.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That is a big difference. And that's why, you know, the good halves, and they end up scoring out wide, because as I said, this much in the middle is 5 metres out wide. And that's why guys like Cleary and Jerome Hughes are probably the two best at it. They always seem to score on the outside there. So it's a hard one. Just got to get your timing right, because you're fucking going to you'll be spending a lot of time on the sidelines if they don't get it right. And they're trying to really eradicate that hit that Kaufusi's been doing. It has to be perfect.
But do you think, like, because I remember initially when the rule came in, I feel like it would have dated back to like the JT days, the back end of JT's career.
Yeah.
But like at the end of his career, he was just like, people were just ripping him because they knew that it was almost like the old, the Brett Favre, the old NFL thing where, you know, if you get a chance to have a lick at JT, he's essentially going to win them the game for the Cowboys. Players and teams would clearly target him. I think they've got away from that now, and it's so like minor these days. Like, players, I think they're too far protected. Personally, I don't care if it's a halfback or a middle or whatever. I think the skill of getting it right should outweigh someone getting an inch wrong or a second wrong.
And I think just say like the Isaiah Yo's, the Cam Murrays, the Victor Radleys, they're getting hit as well.
Yeah,
but they're not getting that. They're not getting the leeway like a half is going to get. If O'Sullivan or like Flanagan or Cleary or any of those sevens go near the line and get touched as soon as they pass the ball, penalty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like the bigger guys don't care. If Junior Paulo digs into the line and you hit him after he's passed the ball, no one cares.
I've got an example. The Parramatta game, was it Dury? Did Dury tip it on? Oh, fuck. It happened on the weekend where someone got hit. And it was clearly, I'm just trying to rack my brain over. I think it was the Eels game that someone was coming back off the edge. And who did he get hit by? Fuck, this is going to annoy me. Keep going with it, mate.
Yeah.
So if it comes to me, I'll bring it up. But
even like all the middles, like just say.
No, it was a Storm game. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it was a Storm game. Young Garlic. The new Bronson Garlic come off the bench. He got pumped. He had a nice little tip on. Someone from the Tigers come and collect him. I think it was Ice SUA'ALI'I. That's why I was thinking of Parramatta maybe. It was probably worse than the Kaufusi hit. Oh, right. But it was like in the sense the timing of it was worse. Mind you, the difference was it was more square. It was more front on.
That's what I'm saying.
It was more like a little tip on here, maybe hit.
That's what I'm saying. If you turn your back. That's what they're against.
But I think it was because it was a middle or like a versatile benchy rather than being a halfback, because he got smoked like over top of the ball, hit the deck. They gave a penalty.
And it's a great tackle, isn't it?
It was good because
that's what I'm saying. But to everyone else, a great tackle. But like, if you hit a halfback who's going to the line and he just passes it, or it's right on when he passes it, it's a penalty. But if you see, Junior Paulo, a lot of these middles, you hit Taumalolo, he ain't moving.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to hit him. But why isn't it the same for every player? Why just the sevens are protected? Is it just like NFL? You can't touch the quarterback,
basically.
You know what I mean? So I think they just need. I don't know, how do they fix that rule? They want to protect our. Like, you know, the core, the skilled players. Do you know what I mean? The 7, 6, the 9s, all that kind of stuff. I mean, not really the 9s, but like they really want to protect the 7s.
7s. I think it's just the nature of the force that comes, and it looks so much worse on smaller guys.
And you know what? I love it because you know what? If you're a petrified little fucking 7, you are passing way before the line.
Yes.
So you win. That's why these players are getting taught to hunt from the inside and follow that inside hip. Make him play early. If he's got balls, he'll fucking run and he'll get it.
Yeah.
That's what you want these guys to do. When they're going across field, like trying to drop people under, these middles are coming up. As soon as they check on the guy coming under, then they beeline for his ribs. That's the way it is. That's the way the game's played. It's fair play.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want this. We don't want the 7s and that digging into us. I'm a middle. I don't want him digging into B and C because I know our guys out wide, our centres and our halfbacks and wingers, they're under the pump if I don't put pressure on that 7. If I let JT, Joey come near me or dig into like the 3-man or anything like that or even get to the 4-man, we're fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these are just football plays. You can't protect these kids. Go play fucking Oztag if you don't want to get hit. Any up-and-coming 7. This is not the sport for you. Go to Union.
I'm with you. Guys, speaking of Union, we'll get to that in a bit. We've got plenty to talk about with the Joseph SUA'ALI'I news, obviously, Mace. My biggest takeaway based off basically the Nico Hines and Cam Munster performances is I think the comp is so fucking close this year that superstars will probably not even like, you know how superstars dictate competitions or they dictate runs. I think it's going to be a game by game, week by week sort of proposition, right? If you got like, you look at, in particular how the Storm performed without Munster and the Sharks looked very mediocre for the first 3 weeks without Nico. Again, you go to the other side of it now with the Dragons who, obviously Benny Hunt's been doing a great job for him, but like they didn't look all that bad in the first couple of weeks. You know, they got a win against the Titans. You know, they took the Broncos, all the way to the end before they got Payne Haast. But I think, superstars. Like if I'm thinking about it now, if I'm looking at games and I'm thinking about ways to break down games, man, I'm almost leaning towards now. If some of these big dogs aren't playing, then
give you an example. Manly play Titans. Who do you think wins the games for them? Just say that's just you got stars. Who do you think should play good? Who do you think would be the standout for one of those teams to win? Who needs to dominate?
Well, Turbo's the obvious one for Manly, but that's a great example. So a lot of teams
have some like 3 or 4 stars. All the rest are role players and some really good first graders. That's what the NRL is stacked with now. 3 or 4 genuine stars, role players. Wingers are always, outside backs are always pretty big, strong, all that kind of stuff. But the core, the 7, 6, 9, 1.
Perfect example. There's RABBITOHS on the weekend. I was concerned that they didn't have their middle, so they're missing Totola, who's been a really good contributor over the last couple of years. Hamed Sally, who's been a really good role player bench. But at the end of the day, they still had Cody. They still had Latrell. Like, I'm not saying that Manly didn't have their stars. That's why I tipped Manly.
Yeah.
But I don't think the effect of sort of, these next tier role players are going to have as much of influence as like guys like you look at that Cronulla team on paper, they got a fucking really good team. They just didn't have Nico. Nico comes back in.
Dally-M medalist.
And they put fucking, 40 points on the Dragons. So, I'm going to look for that now. When I'm looking at breaking down games, I'm going to take my time a little bit on, obviously we've got our friends at the tab. We're looking at a little bit jam later in the week. When I do my preview, I'm really going to take that into consideration.
So how much onus are you putting on the key player? Do you reckon there's more pressure on, just say you are Manly, like the DCEs, the Turbos? They're probably the biggest stars, aren't they? You're not expecting match-winning stuff from Jakey.
No.
Schuster's not on that massive money yet. He's going to be a star, but you've only got DCE and Turbo in that team, haven't you?
But even and this, everyone knows Ches is one of my good mates. Even at this point of his career, he's probably not that now. He's probably like
so you've got Turbo. That's
it's just Turbo. Everyone I'm talking about, and again, I love Hughesy to death. And Hughesy is a solid player, Jerome Hughes I'm talking about. But Munster's got that X Factor star power. Nico's got that X Factor star power. There's not many of them, man.
So
like
you look at North. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about Penrith.
Yep.
You got a lot of great players in that team.
Yep.
But who needs to play at their best for them to win
this year? We haven't seen any. We haven't seen it yet, but it's Nath. I reckon in this team now that they've had last couple of years, they could afford to miss Nath because their team was so stacked. That's why I'm talking about the closeness of the comp now, where people give themselves a genuine chance. We haven't seen Nath not play for him yet, but I reckon if Nath plays, I reckon teams fucking
I think it's different with Panthers because Panthers got such a great system, right? And I just think Isaiah Yeo's one of their most important players. When Isaiah Yeo was playing, I reckon he played his best game all year.
Yep.
And they look like Penrith of old. They sort of got to start combinations with Mitch Kenny and all that kind of stuff, but like they looked like the Panthers of old. Because he was hitting the line flat. He made a couple of line breaks, clean line breaks. That beautiful pass on the inside made that line break. You know what I mean? Like
the one that set up Sorensen over when he puts Dylan Edwards over.
Like he did some really good things. He probably played his best game. And I think Isaiah Yeo's nearly the key to Penrith. Cleary does Cleary things all the time. He's just very consistent. Yep. You see him play. His minimum is 7.5, 8 out of 10. Then you might see a 9 or 10. Yep. But he never goes below 7.
That's true.
Never goes below 7.5.
Isaiah is the same.
And same as Isaiah. But then, we started seeing some clear pastures, like, Fisher Harris. What about how, we'll get to Penrith later, but just like how their back five, how much they work, and their middles don't have to do that much.
Yeah.
Like they just take it's just in ebbs and flows of the game, just seeing how the game's going. When it's like this, they just walk back.
Yeah.
The back
they front load all of their energy in the D.
But then you look at just say a team like the Broncos or Cowboys. You get 4 or 5 good players in those teams. If they all shine, they're fucking hard to beat.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a good comp, man. It's going to be good because there's dogs everywhere.
Titus, it's been, I reckon, for at least 5 years.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Probably more.
I feel the same. Because you know why? It's fucking dogs everywhere. So give us your dogs.
Dogs.
Dog of round 4.
Man, it's hard. I mean, we were trying to have a criteria for this, weren't we?
Look,
he couldn't be too good looking. But then that would have ruled out Reece Walsh. I reckon he's fucking killing it.
He's been close to a dog nearly every week.
He's been great. We're going to have a criteria. Fuck it. If you play like a dog, you're a proper fucking dog.
100%.
You know what I mean? And I just look at Nico Hines, come back from a calf injury.
Yep.
And just played, I think he played close to a full game, I think.
But they got pulled off in the last 5 or 10 minutes. But he was sweet. But he had a bit of a tight groin. But
they come back from a calf injury, you know what I mean? I thought that's the reason why I'm back fucking St. George. I didn't think that he was going to come back and run as great as he did.
Yeah. Well, that's when I.
Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing that I thought. I thought he was just going to be a passenger, catch pass, put more on Moylan, all that kind of stuff. Trindle would come off the bench, maybe give him a rest and that. But he's taken obviously the right time. The right amount of time off because I think he could have rushed it probably round 1 or 2. He's like, no, body first.
Yep.
Best abilities, availability.
You've always said that, OG.
Yeah. And he come out and the way that he fucking played was one of the most dominant performances I've seen for ages.
3 try assists, 4 offloads, 5 line break assists. It was just like it
it's
was
ridiculous.
Dominant.
It was embarrassing, wasn't it? It was like playing with kids. Nia Cora was a dog as well. He was close.
He's playing really good footy then.
He was really close. But Nico Hines, just simple fact. A lot of pressure for him coming back. Rose to the occasion. Local derby. They were gunning for him. They thought he wasn't going to carve him up as much as he did.
The Dragons started all right too.
They did. But his defence was great. His leadership's great. He just kicked off where he ended last year.
Yep, I agree.
So that's my dog of the week.
Dog of the week, Nico Hines. I'm going to go for one. I don't know if it might throw you off a little bit. I was very critical, obviously, of the decision to miss 3 games. My dog of the week is Ryan Madison. 83 minutes. 17 carries for 146 meters and 53 tackles.
Jesus,
I didn't see
the stats.
I'm super critical of his decision that he made, but if there's a way that you got to come back, you beat the back-to-back champs. Like no agendas, like OG. Like if we didn't agree with the decision, but at the end of the day, to come back and have that sort of game, I felt like he was working his ass off, and the game went fucking to extra time, and he played all 3 minutes extra time.
And against Penrith.
against Penrith. Well, yeah, that's it. You know, like you've got to step up. The team's just gone 0-3. You know, you've come out. He come out. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and said he thought it was the trials. And look, there's been so many excuses, I guess, on his behalf from some of the teammates.
That's probably a genuine answer. Probably his genuine excuse. He said, yeah, and then plus he already made the decision.
Yep.
And he fucking couldn't go back on it. He probably thought he was going to miss two trials count.
Well, that's what he's come out and said now.
Get a fucking decent people around you, kid. Jesus Christ. Anyway, those stats are great. I expect, I didn't think
those are his stats. Those are like.
I still don't think he deserves a dog of the week, but those stats are because I looked at the game and I just go optically and I'm like, he didn't really have an impact on the game.
Yeah,
he did play big minutes.
I just think he worked his cut out,
and the pressure that he was under,
and the pressure. Yeah,
so
take all that into consideration.
83 minutes. I'll take everything into consideration. I will take everything into consideration, and I'll give him that because there's a lot of pressure on that man to come back to fucking win. If they went 0-4, holy shit.
Yeah.
And he didn't shirk it. Oh, it's fucking hard to dominate against Penrith. I don't think he was dominant, but he wasn't. But those are good stats. Big minutes.
I just felt like I kept on seeing popping up.
53 tackles.
53 tackles.
Holy shit.
2 misses.
Yeah,
so like every time I looked up when I was watching that game, yeah, you're right. Like he wasn't like bruising people.
But I don't think he ever is that sort of player as well.
That's a good stat line after missing 3 weeks, and your team needed a win.
But he played the full game as well.
Full game, 83 minutes. Right, Edge too. You get a little bit different because he's used to playing. I think most of the time we play in the middle. But that Hopgood's become a real play for him where he's not required anymore. So. That was my dog of the week. Moving on to the topic for this week. We've only just got the one, mate. It's nice and easy. Obviously, the biggest news. The Roosters and the NRL by extension have been dealt a massive blow. A boy, the youngster, 19-year-old Joseph SUA'ALI'I, he's off 1.6 mil for 4 years, I believe it is. But it's after not this season. I believe, it's been reported 1.6. It's obviously not at the end of this year because he re-signed for 2024. It'll be the year after. And Mace, we've mentioned it before on here before. We've seen this coming. He's going to play in the World Cup in about 3 or 4 years.
This is not surprising me. Well, we said this ages ago. I said if he's smart, he's going to do this. Exactly what he's doing. Like play here, get his runs on the board, play Origin, probably play for Australia, all that kind of stuff. A good culture, good discipline, learn all the right attributes. I mean, all the right things, training-wise, discipline-wise, all that kind of stuff that you need to as a young kid, install that into him. He's at the best club to do that. He's learning a hell of a lot. This is his 3rd year in the game already, 3rd year in first grade. He's 19, 20.
Yep.
He's got this year, next year. I'm not sure if we're going to be arseholes and not pick him in Origin or Australia or whatever it is, just because he's signed for Union. If we want to win, we pick him in Origin.
I think Freddie wants to win, and we talked about it last week. I dare say he'd be on the wing.
I think he should be on the wing, and he deserves it. He's still in our game now. Well done to him. He'd be silly and stupid not to. People are hating on it because they can't do it.
Yeah,
they can't. They don't have the skill set to play top line rugby league, Origin, and for Australia, and they can't go back. They can't just switch within a year and then go play for the Wallabies.
Well, Luke Keary, he compared him to Sonny, and we were sort of the same months ago in the sense
he's going to be the best dual international of all time because he's got the runs on the board already. He's played Union his whole career and league. He was just as good as at both of them. So he'd be silly not to do both these things.
100%.
You know what I mean? So good luck to the kid. Kill it this year, which he will. Play your best with the Roosters, hopefully win a premiership in the next 2 years.
There's a good chance.
And if not, come back when you're 25, 26.
Yep.
And then just have another stint and then go back again and then come back again and then go back again. Do what you want. This is the beauty of being such a talent.
Yeah.
Don't be jealous of his talent. You know what I mean? Like he can do this. A lot of players they don't have the skill set. Otherwise they would. Yeah. He can go play in the south of France and get over €1 million. You know what I mean? Like he can live his life and live a fucking great life, set his whole family up, all that kind of stuff, man. He should be, everyone should be happy for him. I think, Freddie and Joey said it well. They're like, is it a loss? Yeah, it's a loss. You know, like next man up mentality.
There's a new crop coming through.
There's always that young kid coming through. He's a once in a lifetime generation, but we're not going to sit here and they're not going to hold the game to ransom. He doesn't want to hold the game to ransom. He wouldn't have been sitting there with Nick going, Nick, they offered me 1.6 mil. Can you please offer me more and I'll stay? No, he was always going to go. And the Wallabies had to do that to get him.
Yeah.
Because he's at such a great club. But he was always going to be here when he was like the 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then go. Like, look at the stuff that he's learned look how tough that kid is. Look how hard he is. You know what I mean? He seems like a veteran already. Veteran plays, makes veteran, he just does everything fucking tip top. What he brings that to Union, he's going to fucking destroy Union. Yeah, he will destroy it.
If you think back to sort of around your era, like when you're starting, like obviously the big names that come to mind, Sonny went a little bit later, but there's there was Wendell, there's Lottie, there's Matty Rogers. They all none
of them had a Union pedigree like this kid.
Yeah. Did Lottie not?
Oh, maybe not to this extent. Yeah. Like this kid was just as good as Union as he was in league.
Yeah, well,
and he's only 2 years out of school. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is a no-brainer for this guy. I'll go play for the Wallabies, go play in the World Cup, go travel the world, go do whatever I want. You know what I mean? It's not as taxing on your body. It's not week in, week out. You got to play Origin, big finals runs, training the training that these kids do is intense. There's no days off. There is no days off. Union, I'm not saying there's days off, but the intensity levels, nowhere near the shit that we do in the NRL. Nowhere fucking near it.
That's just the nature. That's not even a crack. That's just the nature of the
Union.
game.
Everybody knows that, man. It's a different game. It's more finesse in Union. It ain't fucking like
it's
rugby
more,
league.
It's more
it's more structure. It's more structure. There's more tactics. He could be sitting on the fucking wing for a whole game and touch the ball twice. Do you know what I mean? Or he could be sitting at 12 or 13. I'm not sure what position he'll play, but he won't be getting that much ball. He won't be getting play twos coming out of yardage with fucking 10 blokes trying to bash your head in 20 times a game. He's not going to get that.
You know my one concern with him too, that I just, thinking, watching Union, the one thing with Joey, I feel like his best works are his fucking dog carries, like those one off the rucks that he does. And then his kick returns because he gets to wind up. Thing in Union, like I know he's carved up junior schoolboy because I've seen it all. Like, and I've known Joey since he was a little kid, so I watched his progression come through and playing Kings. It's different once you get to top level rugby, he's not going to have that space.
No,
that in where rugby league, I think this is the one part that might hurt him originally. He's such a talented kid that he'll get it right. Like he'll eventually figure it out. But I think originally, once he goes over there, he'll struggle a little bit with the spacing of it all because like sometimes even when I watch him now, I feel like players who are defending him, if you can take away time as quickly as possible, because if you let him wind up, he's a fucking problem. Like he's going to take you. He can take you on the outside. He can run over you. He's got footwork. He's got a nice little tip on now. He's starting to develop that with tubes. But if you can take the space away from him before he gets to wind up, because he's got those nice big long lunges, and then if you think to Union, like they've got less space. Like
but Union come up and they slide. They slide a hell of a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that there'll be specific plays for that kid. If he plays 12 or 13,
I think he'll play fullback.
Yeah, or whatever. Like he's going to be. There's moves for that kid to be getting the ball at full pace. So good luck. And you know what I mean? If you're sliding in Union and he's hitting inside shoulders, you better put your body in front.
100%.
I'm not saying he's going to carve the All Blacks up, because that's the pinnacle.
Well, the Cheese said that, so let's get to that.
I don't think he'll carve the All Blacks up. It's pretty hard to carve it. Izzy was one of our best talents, and he struggled to carve the All Blacks up. Only happened because they're the creme de la creme. You know what I mean? So
they've been a bit scratchy of late. The ABs, they haven't been.
It ain't the All Blacks that Lottie and Wendell and Matty Rogers and all those blokes had to go against, and even Izzy. It's not that. It's not those All Blacks. They've sort of come down a little bit. Are they the number one nation in the world?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I think Wales, Ireland,
I don't think
Ireland,
they would be,
France.
because they lost a few last year.
I think they're still top 5. I love the Cheese comments. I mean, he's
hilarious.
He says some funny
rugby
shit.
rankings.
But he's all Blacks. He loves All Blacks. But it'll be interesting to see him.
Ireland won. Oh wait, here we go.
The Irish.
This world ranking. Here we go.
I think Wales, France.
I'm getting it up now. Wait, no, fuck off, you cookies. Ireland are first, France 2, New Zealand are 3. Yeah.
And what's Australia? 6?
7th. Fuck, you're on it with the rugby union. Got that rugby union IQ,
You know what? And he's going to go up. So when he goes to Union, who's he playing against? The British Lions.
That's 27th of March. Yeah, so that's up
so they're playing the British Lions. Think he's going to go straight on tour and play the British Lions? top three. What?
Who this? Joseph?
Yeah.
No, he's. Oh, is that who they're playing in 2025?
2025, they go on. They go on the British Lions
First tour.
That's his first.
Sick.
That's his first Rennie tour. So he's got to go on that. So his first Rennie's against the British Lions, and they'll be looking.
Make sure you clip this up.
They'll be looking to put some pads on his head. You know what I mean? Like they're brutal. You know?
Yeah, they are. Look, you look at in this day and age, so the fuck
amount of pressure that's going to be on that kid, and I love the fact that he goes out and he goes, "This is a big move." He's going to go straight from league, straight to union, straight into the Wallabies, straight into the test arena.
Yeah. And there's a good chance he's coming from Origin.
Who else can fucking do that?
In our game right now?
Yeah. I mean, no one. No one has his pedigree. And that's what I love about it. And we should be celebrating the fact that a kid can do that. And he's in our game at the moment. So let's just watch this young kid just kill the next 2 years, go to union, go get your money, experience the world, kill it, then come back. That's the plan. If it'd be silly, I've said this, 6 months ago, that he'll go.
Yeah.
He'll go playing the next World Cup, not this one, the next World Cup.
There's no secret.
Yeah. And
especially with Eddie Jones coming back.
Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, this would be silly. If you're his management or anyone around him, you'd be like, dude, get to the next World Cup.
I was surprised he signed the 4-year deal straight off the bat. I thought it might be the 2-2.
But he wants to solidify his name in rugby league.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I think he's done. That's why he's extended the extra year. If he plays Origin, leaves after the Samoan
wins the Origin
Cup
series this year, might get an Australian cap. I think he pretty much would have got an Australian cap, but he chose Samoa.
Yep.
Which is great. Was a great decision. But I mean, like, if you're picking a Four Nations at the end of this year, knowing that he can still play next year, you're picking him. It depends. Like, if it's a Four Nations or not, and Samoa's, I'm not sure how they're going to do it at the end of the year. If it's just Australia versus England or something like that, I'm not sure. But it'd be interesting to see who he picks.
Mm. Do you think they might not pick him because of this? I think they'll pick him.
I don't think so, because I think he has that talent where we ain't as dominant as we were.
Yeah.
So we need everyone.
Yeah. You can't afford to not play someone who you assume would be in your
If
best
he goes,
lineup.
I want to play for Australia, and they were like, nah, it's like, that's pretty shit. He's good enough to play for Australia.
What if he just wants to play for Samoa before
then
he goes?
that's on him.
Wallabies? Yeah.
That's on him.
Yeah.
And that's great.
That's a real possibility.
But, you want to tick all the boxes, right? You want to play for New South Wales, you want to play for Australia in league, which is the pinnacle. Samoa, he's already ticked that box, and then go play for the Wallabies.
Man, I reckon some of these kids think different now.
I'm not sure.
Back in the day.
We'll see.
I reckon Jason Tomalolo and that sort of changed it for him. Their mindset is, I believe that a lot of these young kids now, maybe rugby union would be different because, obviously rugby union's a world game, but the rugby league, Samoan and Tongan, Papua New Guinean teams, Pacific Island teams are getting so much stronger now that it's almost like if we do play all our best players for those respective countries and their heritages, is that a word? Heritages? Nah. Heritage. It's just heritage.
Yeah.
Then they've obviously they're just as good a chance. And it was shown in the World Cup. Samoa in the final against
I would love
Australia.
to see that.
Yeah.
I would honestly love to see that. And you'll see it this year when they get the chance, because it's not a World Cup.
And they're still
it could be
tier
just
two.
a Four Nation, and they're still tier two.
Yep.
So as I said, like, it's just different. The mindset, when I was younger, I wanted to play for Tonga, which I did, but then I knew Australia was the best nation, so I wanted to play for Australia. So we'll see.
Yep.
And we'll see with all the other guys that chose. Brian To'o.
Yep.
He did the same thing. Luai did the same thing. Those three blokes would have been in the Australian team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
for sure.
They set the precedent like Jason Taumalolo did and Fafita, and they've stuck to it, those boys.
Yeah, it's interesting with the younger guys because a lot of those guys had ticked that box for New Zealand, Australia, Origin, and then, except for Jace. Jace was playing for the Kiwis, but a lot of them had ticked that box, that international box, before they had moved over to the Tongan. So a lot of the young kids are right coming through. The business of the world haven't played for Australia yet.
Because you're not looking at the Australian team as like the pinnacle of it anymore. And you're looking at Origin as because we hang our hat on Origin, and we all just think we need to play Origin. It's the toughest. And if you're tier 2, you still get to pick both.
Yeah.
You can play Origin. That's the toughest arena in the world. Well, I still get to play Samoa. We're a top 4 nation.
And also this too, like back in the day, there used to be such a pay discrepancy between some of the lower
If you're
lower
on a
ranked
mill,
players.
if you're on a mill,
Yeah, you
if
gotta
you're on
play
over
for Australia.
800, which most of these kids are,
You don't need to play for Australia, do you?
all the decent ones, they're not worried about it. You know, when you're on 250 and stuff like that, you're going to play for Australia. It's an extra 7,500 grand a year.
Yeah.
So money's not the point. It's the pride.
All right. Speaking of pride, the Battle of the West was the game that kicked us off in the round 4 review. Kicking off with the Eels versus Panthers. Mace, what a game. Some fucking crackers this weekend. Straight off the bat, Eels look comfortable. Nath Cleary does probably the most clutch play.
Tell me a better clutch play that you've seen in the last 10 years.
But, it was fucking unbelievable. But they fell short. They fell short. It's like Parramatta ruined it, but shout out to Parramatta. Like Mitch Moses, all the pressure in the world. Man. 0-3, it's right in front. But a guy who's presumed to be the best player in your position during your period is your Australian captain, is your New South Wales captain. 7, not captain. Teddy's captain, sorry. But then you come down and you reply and you fucking kick the field goal and ruin his moment, that moment. Because Penrith are on 1 win as well.
Yeah, they've got a bye. They don't play like that, man.
They've got a bye. So it was a fucking mad game.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat. And I thought some of the Parramatta forward pack were unbelievable. They really took on the challenge of taking on arguably the best pack of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
They've lost some pieces for sure. Big Kicks and Coruscant aren't there anymore, but
they miss those two, man.
100%. And they're still a formidable pack. Like, I copped a lot of shit last year.
And no Liam Martin. People didn't even know that.
Liam Martin was a big out. Liam Martin was a big out.
I thought that game was lightning quick. These players are so fucking fit. It was just non-stop for I reckon 15 minutes. No one kicked it out, and it was unbelievable.
This game, and then we'll talk about obviously the Dolphins, Brisbane in a bit, and then Rabbitohs versus Eagles. Like, people were just out on their feet. Mate, these fucking athletes now that are playing the game are crazy. But before we get on to sort of, I'll throw you a little thing here. Have you heard about the news about Clint Gutherson's been floated about, and they're looking for a fullback potentially bring in and keep Gutho on the books. They're looking for some bit of a playmaker. So I'll read
What's happening there?
I'll read you a quote. The Parramatta Eels in the past week have been ringing people in the game looking for a fullback. This is reported by Michael Shamus. I spoke to the club. They say they informed Clint Gutherson of the pursuit of a fullback. They say they are just looking for a game breaker and an X factor to add to their backline.
Wow. I would fucking leave if I was him. What has he done but be their best player for the last 4 years? The disrespect.
Yeah, I feel for Tracker. Like everyone, I don't know if everyone knows, but people that don't know, like I've been around Gutho since 2013.
Yeah,
he got the same year I got to the club.
Okay,
he was there in the first year. Fuck, he's such a good kid, and
I fucking love him.
And even just watching him as a fan now,
how he's progressed as a player. Like when I was there that year, 2015 at Manly, and he was behind Turbo. He still played some first grade. Snake was there, and he's like, what do? I'm a Northern Beaches boy, I want to play here, but I can't. You know what I mean?
He did his ACL that year.
He did his ACL, yeah. And then he goes over to Parramatta, and since then he's been their best player. Why and who the hell is out there that can replace Clinton Gutherson? No one.
Who would they be? Who would even come close to being available first of all? Like, and when you all right, what's the words? Here we go. Let me get it right. Game breaker and X factor. Who in their right mind in the competition is going to let someone like that go anyway?
I don't know where this shit's come from.
So it's Shamus.
Yeah, I know, but is there quotes from Gutho, from the club?
Not yet. So we'll see if let me just refresh it and we'll get it up.
Fucking awful news. Anyway,
I almost felt like texting him too and fucking finding out what the go is, but you just
if you put yourself in Gutho's shoes now, how are you feeling?
That's mad disrespect.
How are you feeling
mad
against the
disrespect.
club? If that's fucking true, and they've spoken to your manager and you've gone, hey, is this true? And they're like, yep. How are you feeling right there after your manager goes, yeah, they're looking for a fullback? I'll be like, get me a release and I'm going.
Back to Manly.
Fuck, somewhere. Put Turbo at right centre. I'll play fullback.
Oh, so you're gonna turbo Gutho Turbo?
I don't know. Just have Gutho and Turbo in there somewhere.
Well, if you're gonna just say like if you're, and this is we're playing around with shit in here, right?
Yeah.
But just say you're Gutho, and then Parramatta say, look, we're looking for another fullback. We might move you to the centres, or we might move you on the wing. Say fuck that. I'll go play wing and Manly and win a fucking. But he's not a tracker.
I'll go play centres at Manly easily.
Yeah.
Like
he's not going to.
He's not going to relinquish that number one spot.
Well, I wouldn't do it at Parramatta. But if I'm told if I'm disrespected at Parramatta, I'll go do it somewhere else.
Are they worried about his pace? Do you reckon? And when I say game breaker, are they worried because he's not the fastest fullback? I reckon he's one of the best positional fullbacks in the game.
Have I told you?
Got great hands.
Have I told you what Munster said? I spoke to Munster
back
in the last year.
He's the best positional fullback. He's everywhere. You can't get space.
I go to Munster. I go, why do you always struggle against Parra the last couple of years? I said, why have they been your fucking Achilles heel? He goes, Gutho.
Yeah.
He goes, every time we break through, Gutho's everywhere. He goes,
he's a great defensive player. So I don't know. I hope this is a load of shit. But back to that game. Let's just have a look at Regan Campbell-Gillard, 24 hit-ups, 255 metres. Junior Paulo, 20 hit-ups, 244 metres. Cartwright, 167 metres. Madison, 146. Hopgood, 165. To run those metres against that pack is fucking phenomenal.
Weather conditions was a little bit. Did it rain a little bit on the weekend? Or am I thinking no? What was that? When did it rain? No, but like
and to keep Moses Leota at 43 metres and Fisher Harris at 80.
They did a good job, man. Well, they needed to win. They needed to win, and they got the job done.
But that proves how good Penrith are.
Yeah.
Losing all those players, having key players out, and still these guys run right through their middle and still a fucking field goal separates it. That's unbelievable. Their defense and their systems are so fucking good. But they lost. Do you reckon Penrith lost that game or Parra won? Looking at the stats, Parra won.
I think Parra won, yeah.
But just looking optically, I'm like, Penrith should have won.
Nah, I'd lean that way in the Manly game, but I'd say on this one, I think Parramatta deserved it. Well, realistically, right, they were up with 8 with fucking like 6 minutes to go. Was Hoskins the last try when Cleary put him over and they run under the post? But then they were still 2 down, and then they had to have that fucking unbelievable play to even get into extra time. And then ideally, they probably would have been favourites to win the game after that because Junior got sent off.
Yeah, I suppose.
But no, I put it down to Parra. I thought they were unbelievable. Penrith, man, I said this 6 months ago. I don't know if this is like diehard Penrith fans that are getting into me, but Uppy kicks. They've lost so many players in the last 2 or 3 years.
You'd have to be the stupidest person in the world to think that Penrith weren't coming back to the pack a little bit. Look how competitive they are. They're never going to get beaten by more than fucking 12 points.
No.
You know, they got too much pride and they got too many good players. Like Penrith, you ever look at those stats, right? If someone runs rough shop over your forward pack like that and has possession like that, you usually get beat by 20 points.
Yeah, you're right.
And they still manage to stay in the game and just get beaten in extra time with a field goal. So, mate, of course they're going to come back to the pack. It's just, you know, you're losing their top 2 players in
Are they still favourites to win the comp for you, Mace?
No.
Who would your favourites be?
Brisbane.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm with you in the sense.
If South can get
I
back,
think Souths are my favourite.
And Sharks. North Queensland showed a little bit. I was like, yeah, not too bad on the weekend.
Yeah, I think even Titans would have been closer if they didn't lose Fozzie in that, but we'll get to that game as well. Shout out to Isaiah Yo, he's extended too. He's got a quote for him. There might have been better offers at other clubs, but I feel like I want to achieve staying at Penrith within a successful team overrides anything else. So
I wonder what he wants to achieve. More premierships?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get more.
I think I reckon that's just
him.
That's just who he is.
He's close to Dubbo. Just has to go over the mountains.
I just think he's the sort of dude that would stay loyal regardless. And Penrith aren't not going to throw him loyalty money as well.
I reckon
in the sense, right?
They would have thrown him. He's worth $1 million plus. I reckon.
He's on $1 million. I'd offer him $1 million to keep him out of... And it'd be almost like a respect thing as well.
He's done that. He's come there as a junior. He's been there for years. He knows the system. He loves the joint.
Well, you almost said that he's almost like, in a way, he's more important
than
Nath. So
he was killing it on the weekend. He controls that middle. He just needs to have that connection with Kenny. Kenny needs to get on the same page as everyone else. They lost that young kid. It was a young kid come off the bench, little 9.
Sonny Luke.
Yeah, they missed him. So they battled massively.
Did he got a HIA?
Yeah, he got a head knock. So a couple of those guys had to play some really big minutes, man. So, God, these guys are fit anymore.
All right, moving on to the first game of Friday night, the Storm.
Fuck, I can't believe I backed the Tigers.
Yeah, by the way, I tipped the Eels.
Yeah.
And then I tipped the Storm. The Prez is back. Long live the Prez. 24-12. Game of two halves, Mace. Storm looked pretty dominant in the first half in a way. They were still like not fully back to the old Storm, but just enough back with what's his name? Munster's presence. Tigers showed a little bit of fight again in the second half, same as last week, but still just not enough, not close to enough.
Cam Munster, man.
Johnny Bateman and Appy really stood out for them as well, but that's what I was talking about with regards to my take. Munster, just you could see that he just like everyone rallied around him.
Yeah, he has that presence. He has that. They want to play for him. He's like, is he their captain? He's not,
Nah,
but he pretty much
Christian
is.
Welsh.
But he pretty much is.
He's a leader.
They look at him as their captain.
He's their leader.
Yeah, he's their leader. He's their spiritual leader on and off the field. He does everything. They go as far as he goes. Every game that he plays, if he plays his best game, like he was pretty close, he's obviously one of the best players on the field, they win. He just has that much presence, and he's just one of those guys. He just doesn't really.
What about the Tigers, Mace? Where's their next win coming? So
how are you feeling if you're a part of the Tigers right now?
They got the Broncos next week, Parramatta, then they got the bye, then they got Manly, then they got Penrith. Holy fuck!
Have you ever started the year off 0-4?
Nah, I don't think I've ever lost more than 3 in a row.
Yeah, same.
That's got
to hurt. It's got to hurt.
I would have lost.
And who would you rely on to get these guys out of the hole that they're in now?
Well, how are they going to get out of the hole? So Broncos, this week's Mace, Parramatta.
When do we call the season done?
Fuck.
0-6?
Can you see them beating Broncos next week?
No.
Can you see them beating Parramatta the week after?
No.
That's one of those tricky ones.
0-6, yeah.
That's that Easter Monday game that's always tricky for Parramatta for some reason.
I can see him beat. Oh, mate.
I
can't see him winning this week. Let's just go by that.
Manly?
We'll go week by week.
Manly?
Not many.
Penrith?
No. Is that their run?
Dragons.
Holy shit. Dragons would be a good game.
So they have a bye in between that too.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Wow.
Again, people were critical of Johnny Bateman's game against the Bulldogs because he made a couple of errors. Obviously, hit his head trying to score that try, but it's clear that he's got so much more fight than anyone else in that team. Like, if there's obviously Uppy again speaks for himself. That try, but I think they were both their tries. They scored both their tries. If they only scored a couple on the weekend, they just go as like just the rest of the team need to get on the back of it, man. It's like they've got no soul, bro. The Tigers.
It's hard to put on because you have a look at that team on paper, and you're like, you should be competing every single game.
We should compete against this Melbourne team.
Yeah,
this Melbourne team.
That's why I thought they were going to win. Honestly, did. I just thought, you know what? They showed some brilliance, a little bit of brilliance against us for about 13 minutes, and I'm like, maybe if they can do that for like 60 minutes, they could jag a win.
I tell you,
they seem very disjointed.
Disjointed.
What are you thinking if you're Sheensy
and Benji
and Robbie? Like, fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? What do you say? I mean, like, I don't think like Sheensy. He'd be just thinking, what the fuck do I do? Because I'm pretty sure they're prepping these guys as good as they can, right? Every NRL team does that. They prep as hard as they can, as well as they can. The coaching staff's giving them everything.
I think they've
got this up to the players, or is it the coaching?
I think, again, we've talked about it before with him as well. I think they've got to bite the bullet, bro, and just drop Brooksy.
Yeah.
It's not completely his fault, but it's just like this has gone on for too long for him. And imagine his mindset going into a game, bro. When was the last time they won a game? Like, because they got the spoon last year.
It's been like 300 days.
Where's DJ Tigertown? We need him for all the
It's been like a year since they've won, close to a year. I don't know.
It felt like they haven't won in a while.
I mean, like, if you drop him, who do you put there?
Well, you fucking play Wakeham and then you figure out a way, but it's not necessarily about who replaces him. It's just like his time's done there, bro. His time is done. He needs to move on.
They don't want to play for him.
If he's ever going to make a fist of it, like, and it's not. Look, again, I think he's wanted to move on for a while now.
They've wanted to get rid of him for 3 or 4 years.
But they just haven't wanted to take the chunk of the salary cap at the end of the day.
He's on a fair wicket.
This is his last contract.
He's on a fair wicket. Sure. It's up to him. If he wants to change, he's going to have to leave a lot of money on the table.
If I was him, it wouldn't even be about money. I'd just want to fucking go to get away from it, bro. I
think he's going to stay, get his money, and then go.
No way. Nah, you couldn't do it.
I bet he does.
You reckon?
100%. Right, he's on 1.2.
If I was him, I'd go fucking play at, I don't know. Who are the top teams? Roosters, South. Let me go through them. Roosters, South, Penrith. Who could use him? Storm, they couldn't use him. Fuck. Manly. Like, who do you... Yeah. You're right. Like,
he's not going. I'm not leaving.
I'm not
fucking leaving. And that's what he's saying. Why would he? He goes, he'll finish out his tenure there and go, you know what? Now I'll go.
Yeah.
And hopefully he set himself up. I want to see.
I'm talking about re-signing at the end of this year.
Mate,
I'm talking about
he's not going to get re-signed.
Well, that's what I was going with. I thought you were saying he's going to fucking re-sign.
I thought you were saying like he can go now and someone wants him.
No.
He'll be.
No, I wouldn't walk away from my contract if it's him.
Oh, that's what
and
I
then Mitchy Moses is all but done. No, I'm saying don't re-sign.
I thought you said like Willie, he should go like now. I'm like, nah, man. Yeah. He's got like a lot of money sitting there and no one really wants him.
Yeah.
And imagine that being that dude. Like going to training every week and cameras at your head, pretty much blaming it all on you when it's not all his fault.
He's looked rattled for years, bro.
You know Even when he gets interviewed. 2018, right? He got halfback of the year.
Fuck, that
Dally
seems
M, halfback of the year.
Seems like an eternity ago.
That was before Moses. Everyone thought he was going to be better than Mitch Moses. I don't know. I mean, I feel sorry for the Tigers. Imagine being part of that coaching staff. You'd just be like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Does it seem? Is it a coaching problem or is it a player problem?
It's a talent problem.
Yeah,
they just don't like, because it's clear when Uppy and Bateman's been over in the fucking UK now for a year and a half. A year and a half has he gone over there? It's clear, blatant that he's easily the best player, and fucking him and Uppy are the best player in the Tigers. Yeah. So if it's standing out. Now they've got some players that they've got high hopes for, and I hope they grow into some players. But even you can see the stress has even been put on like pups, like SUA'ALI'I. He hasn't making a few uncharacteristic errors. Pretty doom and gloom, man. I'd be fucking furious if I was Tigers fan.
Depressing talk. It's depressing talking about it. Imagine being at training today. That's when you need a really good coaching staff. Fuck. Go karting or something. Something fun.
Little Jonah Pezzett was nice.
Yeah, he's good.
Hey, he's a nice little player.
He's good.
Braif's going to have fucking half the salary cap there in Melbourne in a couple of years.
He already does. The monster there.
Yeah. All right, what's that going?
What have we got? Next one, Dolphins and Broncos, right?
Yep, moving on to the Dolphins-Broncos game. 12-8.
What a game.
Unbelievable game. Lived up to the hype, man.
It did.
Felice Kafusi to the Finns win.
Oh, I reckon they go better.
So it was
close. It was close.
Yeah.
But just his inside pressure, he wouldn't have let Reynolds run to the line that far. He would have Ezra Mann wouldn't have been going to the line that far. Capewell wouldn't have been hitting those holes. He played good at Capewell, didn't he? What about that try? Yeah. Fucking hell.
It was nice.
I think he just would have fixed up a lot of those gaps that they end up making. But they were fucked at the end, poor Dolphins.
But both teams were fucked. Yeah, Broncos were fucked too.
Yeah, I know, but the Dolphins were proper because they had Nicarima go off. They had
SOS.
The Sullivan went off for a peck. I think
Tessie New was on leg.
Tessie New was on one leg. And I think someone else in the middle, maybe. I'm not sure, but they were under the pump, especially in the middle. Ray Stone had to play some big minutes at 9.
Yep.
Like that. Yeah, they were under the pump. Especially
who
losing.
Who went off the hooker? Who went the
So who was the starting hooker?
Oh, yeah, Cody Nicarima. Yeah,
no, he didn't start, but.
Yeah, he started.
No, he didn't. Teague did.
Teague started.
So Teague started. He went off.
Yep.
Nicarima went on. He come off.
And then Stone went on.
Then Stone come on. And so they just, by I think the last 6 minutes, they were fucked. Milford, like, I mean, it was good to see him back. He defended well sometimes, but fuck, I just want to see him really like stamp himself on some of those games. I thought he was decent, but I think at the end of those games, who are they looking for?
Yeah, Milf.
You're looking for Milf.
Is he the one that put in the grubber too that went straight to Katoni, but he was aiming at the pads.
About 5 or 6 minutes when he was going down the short side, he put a left foot kick in. Do you know what I mean? And they caught it on the full and they got straight to their 35 and they end up, you know what I mean? Like little things like that where he's got a good kicking game. And that's just like, he's better than that. You got to put a bomb up and you got to contest it. If you're not doing anything else, if you're not running it or anything like, you've got to put a bomb up and you've got to contest it. He went down the short side and he put a left foot kick in and they caught it on the full.
I don't know. I reckon it was a little bit harsh because I think he played good considering.
I thought he played good, but I'm just saying when the money's on the line, when that game needed Anthony Milford, who's one of the most talented players in the comp, they're fucking looking to him to do something.
Yeah, but so the Broncos, because SOS has gone off, so there's no other option too.
I know, but I mean,
he was playing 6 for him. Teague was.
But I'm saying that I'm thinking of all your options, you don't put a left foot little punt kick to the fullback to catch it on full. You know what I mean? Like I think he's a better player than that. Even if he had kicked it out, just something better than that. I think Cooper Cronk commented on it, and I saw it. and I went, "Wow, was that left-footed? Why would he put it on his left foot? Put it on his right foot. Just put it up and contest. You don't know what can happen. Make it just that play right there. I think 5 or 6 minutes ago, I was like, fuck. And then the Broncos got some really good field position, and then it wasn't game over from there. But like they're looking at Milf to do something like that.
Bronx had a whole heap of errors too, though. To be fair, like, and this is a credit to the Dolphins. This isn't even like against the Dolphins, but because the Dolphins on paper, I still don't think teams are respect him in the sense where they think like, I think they line up against, if like teams line up against the Dolphins, the Roosters are a perfect example from round one. Probably the Raiders gave them more respect and they still got the dub. But like, I think the Broncos and the Roosters in particular thought like, we should be rolling these guys. And it gets frustrating when they're not because it felt like they were trying to do too much. But in the end, like the recruitment of Wayne, the desperation, like you look at that try that Mark Nichols saved in the corner, like Ray Stone was thereabouts as well. Like that sums up Wayne. That sums up the Dolphins this year. They just keep turning up. Like Kenny's playing big minutes in the middle when he's used to playing on the edge. Unbelievable. Tom Gilbert was a fucking dog.
Even the last the last kick where Milf put through, that was a good kick. It was just unlike it didn't. Yeah. If they shouldn't have scored that. They shouldn't have scored that last try. I mean, great work from Katoni, but like it's just the bounce of the ball. But it was a 2-point game. It was a 2-point game against Brisbane. Up there, a stacked Brisbane team, decimated Dolphins team, and they still fucking were in it in the last play. You got to respect that. You got to respect that. And I'm not saying, just say when I said about Milf with his, I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm just saying that play right there.
To step up in that moment.
Yeah, but just a different play than a left foot little chip kick over the corner. You know what I mean? You just got to I'm not a halfback, but I know what I want my halfback to do in that position. Put the fucking thing up.
Yeah.
Contest.
Onto the Bronx. We both think they're legit.
They're legit.
You like them as the title favourite at the moment?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. I think they go. I love the fact that Walshy's a gun, mate. He's a gun. I like the fact that Tony Staggs is coming off his little. Just say if they're playing down here and it's just like on the 20-metre line and you're 10 metres out, usually he'd sit on his short side.
He's getting in for a
carry. He's coming over and he's fucking taking people on. That's the reason why Nicarima has got a head clash because he runs fucking hard and direct. And if you don't put your shoulder in, kids at home, where Nicarima got that hit. Yep. So if Nicarima doesn't put his shoulder in, if you want an arms tackle, then you get whiplashed with your head around there when the old mate's coming around that other side, and that's what happens.
You're right.
You got to put your body in line, man. You got to put your body in front. When Katoni's moving, he's a fucking, I reckon he'd be 102 kilo.
Easy.
Full on muscle,
tank,
fast and fucking aggressive. So if you don't put your body in front, you leave yourself to those moments. That's why Nicarima copped that head knock. Nicarima had proper tackle tech. He's not getting knocked out. But if you make it an arms tackle and you don't want to put your body in front, that's what happens.
Yeah, he got him with a nice little bit of footwork. So even without that 100-metre dash at the end, you're right. Katoni's
still
involvement,
makes over 100, yeah.
15 carries for 130 without that. So he's definitely way more involved. Probably in the last couple of weeks than he was definitely at the start of the year, and then in particular, like
Thomas Flegler was impressive. His defense was outstanding. I know he doesn't have the big meters like Payne Haas, but he was hitting like a fucking truck.
Do you like the back and forth with the Broncos sledging the Broncos media team going back to Finland? Did you see that?
No.
So safe travels back to Finland. The Broncos posted on their social media, and it's got a picture of them heading back, obviously, because they both use the home ground. So,
I like that shit.
Yeah,
I love it all.
Social media teams should be like that now.
This is our house.
That was sick.
That was mad when he scored that, and even like I think Ezra Mann said it the week before.
Yeah.
So they got some pride.
They got some swag.
They fucking got mad swag. Not swag early 2000s fucking Broncos.
Not
late 90s, early 2000 Wendell swag. But I thought Billy Walters was good.
Yeah.
His creativity out of dummy half.
I like Billy Walters.
But yeah, I think he might be a 9.
Yeah, you're starting to come over to me now with the Billy Walters 9.
He's got, he's showing to the right. He's coming back on the left. People are he's hitting Carrigan on the left side. Carrigan's going overs when he gets the ball. They're pushing into holes. It's fucking hard to defend, especially if you've got a Payne Haas running the ball, boom, settler. And then Walters comes out to the right, steps past the markers, and then they're fucking jamming in behind the fucking A there with Carrigan who comes off his right good. And then you got fucking all these other blokes pushing into these holes. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But it all comes off a quick play the ball. You dominate the ruck, you get Payne Haas, good luck, or Flegler or anything like that. Flegler or Payne Haas get lightning quick play the balls. Absolute lightning quick play the balls.
Are they the best? Are they the best pack in the comp right now? Like on paper,
yes.
Flegler, Haas,
yeah,
Capewell, Ricky, and Carrigan.
Yeah. Ricky, I'd like to see some more attack out of Ricky, but obviously they're putting more emphasis on his attack.
Look at both of them, four carries and 8 carries respectively.
Yeah, I like that. I want him to get 10 plus carries. 10 plus. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're making 30-something tackles. You need 10 plus carries. Or even if he's going to pass the ball a bit, he needs at least maybe 10 to 15 touches of the ball.
What it's allowing them, though, is to play 80 minutes and then have a really solid middle rotation.
I know. They do.
That's what they're looking for.
But I'm like, Ricky can get more than 4 hit-ups. He'd be pissed off himself. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great attacker. He's a better attacker than he is a defender.
I like that pace that comes off the bench for him, too.
I just like how they're playing. Reynolds is settling that shit really well.
They don't have a weakness.
No.
Even their bench is solid.
Yeah,
so
Corey Pakes is good.
There'll be a problem.
Palacia,
all right, moving on to the first game of Super Saturday. This was a bit of was marred by injury with this game.
Damn it.
Whole heap of injuries.
Alejandro
cost us our fucking anytime jam again. Fozzie goes off a little bit after that. Murray Talangi, I haven't checked the update on him, but hopefully his knee isn't an ACL. I'll look at that as we start talking.
4 to 6.
Oh, yeah,
MCL.
Awesome. And then
something CL.
Even
not A, just not A.
Yeah, as long as it's not A. Even Uncle Jimmy Tamo went down with a fucking tight calf.
Foot.
I think.
They don't know what. No, his foot.
Oh, his foot.
They don't know what it is.
I was impressed by the Titans in this one.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good. I think Cowboys. This is a sort of momentum builder that the Cowboys needed. One thing that frustrated me when I was watching that game, I thought like Tanner Boyd really stepped up when Fozzie went off. They moved Aaron Clark to 6.
Campbell to fullback.
Yeah, Campbell's obviously they've got a ready-made replacement for Brimo. The place where they missed it was with Fozzie, with Aaron Clark having to play 6. Like, he's a skillful player, but when it became time to attack in good ball, it was like you could tell that disjointed. Tanner Boyd was going to get the ball more times than not. But like, it felt like the Titans. Dave Fafita was unbelievable as well.
I was just about to give him a rap.
Yeah,
just about to give him a rap. He's doing the stuff that I want him to do like the last couple of years. He's coming on the open side, getting those balls, just playing like a beast, playing like a man. Fodawaker.
I didn't even see his stats.
He's got 187 meters for 18 hit ups. And he's got that all off the ruck. One off the ruck or a bit wider, but he was coming. He was playing hard. Big Tino, 22 hit ups, 222 meters.
He's fucking.
Fodawaker, 19 hit ups, 198
He was good.
Meters.
It felt like he was good.
Fodawaker played his best game of the year. I've seen him for a while.
Yeah, defensively he was really good.
Alafiana Khan
Pereira, the winger,
he's a gun.
He's a weapon, eh?
5 line breaks.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He was the only one that sort of looked likely in that last 20 minutes when when Jeremiah Nano got sent to the bin and they started to open up a little bit. Like, if it wasn't Dave setting him up, it did really look like they were struggling. The frustrating bit it would have been for there was a period there where the Titans were attacking the line for a while just after the half. I felt like the Cowboys just gave away heaps of penalties, 6 again. And then
back their defense,
and then it led to the Valentine Holmes intercept straight after that, and that really fucking crippled the Titans.
They did. Was that off Tanner Boyd?
Yeah, try to throw the big cutout over the top.
You know who was outstanding for the Cowboys, and I'm glad seeing him back. Who do you reckon off the bench? Lukey.
Yes.
He's fucking outstanding.
He's a gunner.
He's coming back from an ACL.
He's going to be a gunner.
And he's
a gunner.
Is he a Kiwi?
I can't say that with
Fuck, I bet he gets picked off the bench this year.
I have a feeling he's Queenslander.
He was outstanding. 57 minutes, 9 hit-ups, 10 hit-ups, 103 metres, 20 tackles. You know what I mean? Like, just great stats for a young kid. To come back from an ACL, young kid, and not lose his leg drive or anything like that. He played like a fucking animal. I just thought that
Nano was a bit better?
Yeah, Nano was good. He's fucking hitting some good holes. That try. Some of the defensive errors that like the Titans made.
That's Aaron Clark playing 6.
Like, what are you doing rushing up out of the line and giving him that out ball? Like, he's always going to do that.
Yeah, they love that play.
You just don't do that.
It's still a great skill to be able to do what Nanai does. It's such a high clip, considering everyone knows a lot of teams will do video and go like, he loves this line.
Yeah, but like,
don't do it.
So that's why you
and
just
he still hits him and does it nicely.
You just got to go together. Like, you just don't leave that kid one-on-one. Who was the 6 who got caught?
Aaron Clark was.
So who was the one on the outside?
It would have been Brian Kelly wedging if it was the left edge. He fucked it.
So where he come up, Kelly out of the line. Therefore, that makes so Nanai's hitting that hole, and you got someone around the back who thinks. And I think that's what Kelly thought he was going to get. But you got to stay together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because if he hits on that outline,
especially on certain players,
especially on the line, do you know what I mean? Like, you got to wait till the ball goes past you and then you move. Unless you see it in the air and you know it's going out the back and you can shut it down. You never leave your 6 isolated like that. I saw that and went, "Fuck, mate. What's Aaron Clark supposed to do?" He's sitting on his heels, which he should have been up in the line, and he would have got him. You know, if he sits on his heels, he just did and just digs into the line more and more and more.
I think it was Chatty that tipped.
Or whoever it was, the half, and then he just gives him that nice ball, but gives him that ball, and then he just goes out. All else, he didn't even run it. He didn't really run it hard. He had the ball, and then he just went on his outside because he left that gap. Kelly left that gap.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Like, I know you're great. You're critical on the Titans defense, but I think Jeremiah runs that line. Like, you know how you can see players try to do it. I remember I was trying to run it as well because I remember. Like
Sonny Bill used to run it, unbelievable.
Like the elite players, because they've got so much in their repertoire. It's like, you know, you've got big fucking Jeremiah. It's like, mate, I'm lining up on you. I'm Aaron Clark, right? They're running that line. You're going, fuck, man, I've got to give everything I can onto my right shoulder as he's going to fucking run over me. And then he just like subtly hits him with a fucking nice little fucking left foot, fades on his outside, and then you go like, oh, I'm putting all my weight here. And then all of a sudden, I've got a duck to the left. It's game over,
but
bro.
Defensive ways, if
I'm putting
Clark,
it for me, I'm putting it more down. And now I think he's a fucking elite
but if
ball
you're in a good defensive system and everyone's on the same page, Aaron Clark is up with the guy inside him, and he hits.
Correct.
He hits Nanai when he gets the ball.
Yeah.
That other guy doesn't get the time to dig in to the guy inside Aaron Clark, and then he doesn't get the chance to run that out ball. It's just he made Nanai run that line, and especially when Kelly come up and try to get the guy out the back. You just don't do that. You can't leave Aaron Clark or your 6, your 3 men there isolated. That's what back rollers look for all the time.
Yep.
So it was disconnect. It was just disconnect and communication. That's what Aaron and then
mad
Disrespect,
disrespect.
disconnect. There's mad disconnect. And I just think that's because Aaron Clark's not a 5'8". He plays in the middle, and you're out there a little bit.
100%.
He sat on his heels. He should have come up, and he would have stopped it.
Jeremiah and Nanai looking at 2 match. I think it's gone to the review committee. They've slept in with 2 weeks. Do you see that spear tackle on Phil Sammy? Phil Sammy's got to be careful, man. Very dangerous. So Phil Sammy didn't help it. I'm not saying he was playing for it. I'm saying he didn't help it. He sort of got his head in position and
he digged it down. Like Alex McKinnon. You got to remember like when they dipped his head.
You got to watch it, man, because you can like.
GI used to do that.
The onus is
GI used to do that, and then but he used to try and flip over and get.
I haven't
penalty.
seen it in a while, man. I don't want players to bring this into their game fucking get a penalty because it can go fucking so.
Yeah,
wrong,
I know
man.
exactly how bad it can go. It's terrible.
Yeah, but I can't imagine. In this day and age, they're not changing.
Surely not after the Alex McKinnon thing. Not after.
No, like as in the suspensions. Like I don't think, even though look, us playing footy, you got to worry for those sorts of things, and we sort of understand what players are sort of potentially trying to do there. But
just don't fucking please don't
fight it.
Yeah, I mean, I just with Philip Sammy, just don't duck your head, please. It's a fucking gives me nightmares.
All right, moving on to the second game. Oh, it was only 2 games.
It was only 2 on Super Saturday.
Yeah, Super Saturday.
Are you happy with that?
And it was doozy.
I think I was sort of not happy with that.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind it because I got the fucking races going on throughout the day.
Yeah, you're fucking. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was just sitting there, just
Sunday.
I don't know, it was good.
Triple header on Sunday.
The 42-year-old Willie Mason doesn't mind the fucking super Saturday.
I don't mind it because then I got all my races. You know, the first game starts around like the last race of the races as well. So then I end up rolling straight into them and only 2 games. And fuck, what a doozy it was though.
Manly South, eh?
Manly South, 13-12. The Rabbitohs get it done. Few controversial calls, but all in all, mad respect to Souths doing
that's a game.
That performance under those circumstances. Obviously, with the passing of John Sattler through the week, it was a big emotional week for Souths. I thought there was a lot of emotion in the game, like a lot of controlled emotion. Both teams, I think these 2 teams got a lot of respect for each other, eh, Mace?
They do.
I think they're 2 teams that you could tell that they really wanted it. But if you know, when you watch the Rabbitohs, or when they play against the Roosters, for instance, like the week before, they're like,
bit of hatred.
There's a bit of sting in it. I think both these 2 teams really want to fucking get one on each other all the time, but it never, you know, even with the Olakwatu and Cookie thing there, you know, it escalated for a little bit, but then it sort of just gets broken up pretty quickly.
There's no malice.
I think there's too many dogs on both teams.
Yeah.
You know, when there's like...
If it goes off, if the rules were, you can fucking go.
Yeah.
They're going. Yeah. Some of these guys, and most of them can fight. It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
What do you think? What did you think? It was tight. It was a coin toss between the whole game the whole time.
I left this game thinking...
Manly are the real deal?
Nah, opposite.
Yeah, all right.
So
I'm glad
thought,
you said that.
Yeah. I went into this game, I tipped Manly because I thought they had the better team on the night with all of the outs like Jairo missing, Tavita Totola, Hamas Ali, who I've got a big rap on. Savila Havili hasn't played much this year. And even Shaq Mitchell has been probably their best rotation player off the bench for South in the last couple of weeks. And although Manly, I still believe were the better team on the night, if I'm looking long term, I think I'm starting, you know, this is the reason I tipped Rabbitohs in the last couple of weeks against the Roosters and Penrith.
I'm going to stop tipping against the Rabbitohs because they've had 3 of their middles out, 3 or 4 middles, and they've just fucking turned up. Keon Kalamatangi is a fucking animal.
He's a gun.
He is an animal. I think he's the best forward in the comp right now. Back rower.
First 4 weeks?
He's the best back rower in the comp.
I like Olakwatu's been unreal as well.
I think Kalamatangi outplayed him.
So do you reckon, we talked about it last week, do you reckon he's got the jump on Olakwatu now for a starting jersey?
I just think Olakwatu is going to be on the bench because he's a big man and he can play. I don't want to isolate and put him and restrict his skills to one side of the field. Both of them actually, because I think they can just both play. I wouldn't mind if they had both those guys off the bench.
Yeah, it'd be
you had Payne Haas, Liam Martin, Cam Murray, Isaiah Yeo, Jake Trbojevic as your starters, Appy, those big
Junior off the bench.
Yeah,
with
or just say junior starting with Payne Haas, Appy. This is just off the top of the head. Cam Murray, Isaiah Yeo, and Liam Martin in the back row somewhere. You just have those big 2 young monsters not giving a fuck coming off the bench. No rules, just go for it. Yeah. Don't sit on an edge. Don't do anything. All in.
With Junior Bolo coming off the bench as well.
Whatever. Don't care. Jake Trbojevic off the bench. Or
but I'm saying, like, imagine that. Like, I think
that's the team.
I think they'll start Jakey as well. I think
Jakey Freddie. I just picked a team. I got the starting team. It's all right. You know what I mean? And then you have a 14 with I don't know who you can pick as your. Who are you going to pick 14? Who knows? We'll get onto that later. But I'm just saying those 2 back rowers, 2 Tongan boys, they're fucking killing it.
Do you think they're locks now? A lot's got to go wrong for them not to make it.
No one's a lock. Yeah. It's only round 4. Just if they keep playing like this, you can't ignore those numbers and you can't ignore the impact that they're having on these games.
I tell you who was close to my dog of the week as well was Cody Walker.
Yeah.
Cody Walker.
The hustle. He's the hustler of the week.
Yeah.
He's the hustler. He played. He's outstanding. They go as far as he goes. Whenever Cody Walker loses his shit, they don't win. And a lot of teams do it on purpose to get under his skin to put South off their game. When he lets the game just fucking play and doesn't care about the niggles and people talking shit, they fucking look like no one can beat him.
Yeah, he looked like he was all business on the weekend.
When he's all business and he blocks all the shit out, that's when he's on.
No one in Manly was antagonising him too. Do you reckon Manly are too nice?
Yeah, well, who the fuck's going to fuck with him? Do you reckon I should have swore that much? Swores?
No, it's all right.
I'm joking. Latrell, outstanding. You know what I mean? It might take Latrell about 6 to 8 games to get fully fit as well. To start, but the touches that he has on the ball, it's just outstanding, aren't they?
Campbell Graham's defense, unbelievable.
Who's getting around
him? And Brad Parker were a good little matchup on the weekend.
It was good. Yeah, Cody Walker was good. Jacob Harris was a bit quiet, but he just did. I feel like
Isaiah Tass is making a try saver nearly every week.
Yep, I agree.
Good game, unbelievable game. Manly, yeah. And by what I meant at the start as well, I'm not completely ruling Manly out. So
Cam Murray made 57 tackles and 1 miss. I'm not sure what Jacob Host was doing. He had a bit of a down game. He wasn't really a...
That was his first game back from of the season, I believe.
They're a good team. They're a very good team.
Here we go. Let's put him into tiers now. I don't think anyone else after these tiers. Speaking of the top teams, I still got Panthers in the top tier, even though they've taken a step back. I've got in my tier 1, I've got Panthers, Rabbitohs, Broncos, and Roosters. I can't split them. Do you agree with that?
Panthers, Rabbitohs, Broncos.
Roosters.
You say Panthers?
So I got a top 4. I got 4 teams in my top tier where I like, depending on matchups, what stars are out. So I go Penrith, Rabbitohs, Roosters, and Broncos.
I take the Roosters out and put the Sharks in. For my
okay.
top 4, yeah.
Yep, okay. All right, and then in my next one would have been the Sharks, Seagulls, Parramatta, and potentially the Cowboys.
Simply because of Nico Hines and what I saw on the weekend.
Yeah.
I just think he's got more star power than anyone in that back line
as well. I don't think the Storm are it this year.
No. They're not. They're going to be a top 8 team, but they're never going to be dominating the top 4.
Fuck, it's going to be a close comp.
Fuck, it's Tydo. Sam Tydo.
That the Brad Parker forward pass was awful though.
It changed the game, man.
They were
on top. They were on top there. Anyway.
All right, moving on to your Dogs, Mace. They go down in a valiant effort against the Warriors. A few contentious calls come out of this, Mace. Straight off the bat, where do you see the Adam Fanua-Blake block on Reedy with the opportunity to tackle? Because Fox, I was watching Fox after it, and Brandy and Braith were saying, despite what you think about the rules are rules, and it's he did take Reed Marnie out, even though he was on the outside shoulder of Ray.
He did run on the inside. He ran on the inside shoulder of Reed Marnie, didn't he?
Correct.
So it took Reedy out of play.
Yep.
So anything that's been
Sean Johnson ran on the inside of Raymond.
And that's the discrepancy.
Yeah.
There it is. There.
Yep.
That's why they got away with it. And I saw that and I went, that's just a bad read. You got to try and
Ray's got to make the tackle.
Yeah, Ray's got to make the tackle. It's not, you know, it's, you know what I mean? It just doesn't look like your typical obstruction what they've been calling back. It wasn't that, was it?
It wasn't.
And even Gus come out and said, look, it was a bad read from Reed Marnie, and he, you know, like he ran that decoy. He was on his inside shoulder, all that kind of stuff. So like, it is what it is. That's it. It was a try. It was a try. You can't do anything about it. Can't sit there and whinge. Can't blame that play. All that kind of stuff. Great play for Sean Johnson. Bad defence from us. Yeah,
Sean, his best game.
Sean played well.
For sure, he's playing well this year. Yeah. I think, you know, Tomato Martin's been unbelievable for Sean.
They're a good team, man.
Webster's doing a good job.
We never went over there at all with the preconceived idea of us, you know, we're going to beat the Warriors like it was in the last 3 years.
Yes. I don't think anyone did. Anyone tipping the game.
No one goes over there, and there's no easy games against the Warriors, especially the Bulldogs. Traditionally, it's always been one of the hardest games of the year. You play that team over there, especially, you know, we've got massive supporters over there as well, but New Zealand versus Bulldogs. You go through fucking when we were playing over there.
Back from the sunny days.
Brutal, man. Yeah. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, they got a decent team. I mean, they had some injuries there. Tohu Harris didn't play the second half, so they battled.
You know, it's been gun for him, bro. Is the two fucking boardies coming off the bench, Jazz Tavanga and fucking Dill Walker coming on. They're like changing games now. Like
that's how important the bench is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a combination between the two. Where Jazzy's just rolling on his sleeves. I think where Jazzy's been done in the past is trying to do too much. He's coming on and he knows his role now because he's got Dill Walker right next to him who's going to play that ball playing middle role. I think it's suiting Jazzy to a T, and he's just playing fucking unbelievable, getting through his tackles, working hard.
Just a couple of bad reads defensively for our boys. Something that is easily fixed. You know, our effort was there. You know, the game was there to be won. You know, you're not going to blame that Sean Johnson, that obstruction, because it wasn't an obstruction.
There's more than enough opportunities for you to get the job done.
You know, like Sean Johnson should have been tackled before he even had the opportunity to score that try.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone.
And the Vilea try off the scrum was pretty soft as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but we played some good football.
I feel like for your team, Mace, and this is like for me speaking an outsider, I feel like you're still at that point now where Matty Burton and all these sorts of players, had a couple of good weeks. They've got to play 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s. Yeah. Kicks has got to play 10 out of 10. He's been brought to there to be that sort of guy. Again, okay, without being great. Like those guys really need to start. I feel like Reid Marnie, he's been trying his guts out no matter what. Still a little bit scrappy as well in this game. But Matty and Kicks, like they've got to be on. They've got to play. They've got to play 9 out of 10s every game, no matter who they play.
Big effort from Max King too. He's playing with a ruptured plantar fascia.
Fuck.
Yeah. So he's a tough kid. We just. You know, it's a work in progress. You know, like we had the game. They'll be coming back today. Fucking filthy that they got beat.
Kraz, 27 runs for 192 meters.
You know, like the boys are ripping in as much as hard as they can. 16-14 against the Warriors over there. We're in it to the death. So you know, it's not like they towed us up or anything like that. It's one of those games. You know, we'll be looking back at the end of the year going, "Fuck, we should have beat them." Hopefully, it's not one of those games with stingers.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't crip. But the team that's going to be fucking thereabouts at the end of the year, like I didn't have them in my top tier, but fuck, they're going to be a pain in the ass, man, this Warriors team.
Especially over there.
You know who's been fucking good, bro? I missed a game last week. Is Jackson Ford. Come over. He was the fucking...
Yeah, he was one of the best.
Mate, he's been a fucking toiler at the Dragons now for a couple of years. I remember him playing like in and around fucking Normie. So I was on a Mad Monday with a great fucking kid too. I was like... I watched him for a couple of years and I was like... I was hoping to kick on because he's a legend, you know.
It's good.
I jumped on the back end of a fucking Mad Monday one year, rolling with him. He's a fucking great little kid. I've been watching for him for a while. I'm pumped for him. Fucking, he's been good for him.
No, he was good.
Tohu Harris, like you said, he didn't finish off.
No.
Fuck, they're getting a lot of impact from their back five. Montoya and Edward Cossey's fucking kick returns and +1 carries are fucking unbelievable.
They're the best in the game, you know that. Their back five is the best in the.
You did say that last week. No, you did say that.
And I don't think they've gone backwards either.
No, they were again good on the weekend. Yeah. All right, moving on to the second last game. The Knights get the job done at home. Mace,
another loss.
This one coming as well. I don't think.
No.
It's a fucking weird competition, man. You got to be on your game. The Knights shut them out, and it's credit to this is credit to the Knights, bro. They shut the Raiders out in the second half. It looked fucking like the floodgates were going to open early when Huddy Young goes over. Yeah. But they found a way. This Knights team. It's not like beautiful footy.
It's not. There's grinding.
Like, these teams aren't like the Warriors and the Knights, and they're not. You don't have to win pretty anymore.
No, you don't. That's the thing. You just got to do your job.
Improved.
Look at their back five. Have a look at the back five here. Lockie Miller, he's been outstanding. 255 metres. Marju, 274. Bradman Best, 196. Best game he's played for ages. I think he's one of the top young kids in the game. Dane Gagai, 185. Heimel Hunt, 130. Yeah. That's massive. Compared to their, I thought Tyson Frizzell was outstanding as well. I think he played probably one of his best games. Daniel Saifidi, a couple of their, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, they just do a lot of work. It was just a fucking proper good win. They got a tough team.
It's a no-frills team, mate.
Yeah, and I think beating the Tigers down here, round 2, when they had fucking 13 players, or 14 players, and just grinding a team out. Like, they've got that grit. They have got that grit in their side. Yeah, they do. And it's hard to coach. You just got to have it in you.
Fuck, so impressive what Lockie Miller's doing.
Yeah,
like
he's played 7 games.
Coming over from Union for Seven's background, and like I always had a feeling like I could see, with the way he carried the ball last year against when he was playing for the Sharks, he filled in for maybe Nico or Will Kennedy. I think even Dykes got injured at one point.
Will Kennedy,
he's a gun. We'll get to him, but Fletcher was saying after on the Matty Johns game, like the transition from him coming over, and I think people were questioning his ball playing there for a little bit, but. He showed. What I want to see
is put a whole season together.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then we can sit here and just talk about him. It's good, putting one game together. That's fine.
He's probably been.
He's been all right. He's been good.
Probably Newcastle's best.
We're quick to anoint
in a bad bunch. Yeah,
we're quick to anoint. Let's just let the kid play and just find his feet. He's only still young and he's raw in the game. He's still learning. I think he's going to be an outstanding player. Just let him play.
Yeah, give them his fellows. Underwhelming Raiders. Very underwhelming.
Yeah, what happened?
Just typical Raiders, eh?
You'd be fucking... No
They-
wonder Sticky wants to fucking kill someone every press conference. What was he like in his presser anyway?
I haven't seen it. I haven't had a chance to look at the pressures yet. I'll go and treat myself tomorrow, and then I'll come back and have it for you Wednesday. But yeah, I thought like with Big Pups coming back too, that was going to give them a lift.
They good, but Pups.
Just typical Raiders, man. They win ugly and they lose ugly.
Yeah. I thought they were going to win ugly. I honestly thought they did.
And they'll win. Who they play next week? I'll look now. I'll bet you they'll play someone
and then
next week and win ugly against a team that they shouldn't win.
Probably Roosters or something.
Let me get it up. Round 5.
But they were good. Jackson Hastings
They're playing
good.
Penrith.
Jackson Hastings. Yeah,
they're playing Penrith at home. I bet you they win an ugly one.
Jackson Hastings was good. Kicks good.
Yes.
Good organiser.
The one thing
no, not organiser. Manager. Game manager.
Yeah, I'd like to see him fucking take it on a little bit more though.
Yeah.
It's so scripted and that.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
We've talked about halfbacks, and he's that halfback.
He just wants to be a game manager.
He doesn't go near the line. There's some halfbacks out there that are petrified.
He's got Gamble for that too, though, right? Because
Gamble's good.
Gamble's the opposite.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to game manage at all.
He just wants to take the line.
Run. Yeah.
You know, like
so in the sense they're fucking a nice little fucking Jack and Jill.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, like he knows his strengths. Hastings, he kicks good. He organises well. So just do that. That's why. Make your tackles. Don't have to be anything else. Don't have to be anything else. You're not Andrew Johns. You're not JT. Just play to your strengths, mate.
Yeah. That's why I was assumed fucking right from the start when they signed Gamble, why they fucked around with KP at 6. They should have gone Jacko, Gamble.
That's what I thought they would have got.
Fullback.
That's exactly what we thought last year. I'm like, yeah, at least you get some guy who wants to attack Hastings, who organises, he kicks good, takes some pressure off KP. Bad move.
All right, last game of the round. The Dragons started really well in this game, but got blown away by your dog of the week, Nicho Hynes. How long's Hook got left?
I thought he had a while till this week. Like they were all right. What was it, 8-6 or 8-0 after like 25 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, they had the lead 8-6 at one point.
Cronulla just stuck to the game plan, and then St George just capitulated.
They did.
Their middles, like their edge defense was awful. I mean, like Britton Nakora runs a good line. I get it, but some of those. Oh, it was like a 3-meter gap. You know what I mean? Like just right outside the 4-man.
When they get momentum, their backfire is so hard to stop, man.
I know.
If they get on the front foot and they can, if you can make a few errors and just give them consistent footy, it's like, yeah, they've got a fucking really good forward pack, but their back five does so much damage.
Their back five is the best in the comp. I reckon it's the best in the comp, and that's saying something.
Roosters?
That is saying better.
Ooh.
Mulatalo is probably the best winger in the game. Katoa's up there. Will Kennedy's probably a top 5 fullback. Then you got Ramian and
Sifa
Talakai. They're absolute animals. And then you add Nicho Hynes just in there just to fucking kill it. Rudolph, UA'ALI'I. Do you know what I mean? Like who's the other? Nikora, Finucane.
Teague Hilton.
Wilton or Hilton?
Wilton.
This is Wilton, yeah.
He's
an animal as well.
Yeah.
Paris's brother. But he's a beast
he's
as
solid.
well.
He's a beast.
He'll make 40 tackles.
Wado will be back soon too. How long did Wado get? 6 weeks?
Did he get 6? No, not 6.
I think he got 6.
Fucking 6 for that.
Something like that. Maybe at least 4.
Minimum 4. Fuck. For the best hit of the fucking year.
Ever.
Yeah, but I'm impressed. I was really impressed. I'm very disappointed for St George, but like, I don't know. I think maybe last week playing up at Suncorp, great atmosphere. And might have taken it out of them.
Yeah, true.
Might have. They would have put
that
all
was a taxing game,
all that effort in there, and then fucking Payne Haas comes on and just destroys you.
In hindsight, like you got to look at the games and like how teams are going to bounce back from the week before. So,
and what day was that? Sorry, what day was that game?
That was a Saturday night game against the Broncos, I believe. So they had enough, but still, that was like a tough game. Mutters fucking triple OG fucking Blake Laurie Mutters.
Yeah, you guys are good.
38 tackles and 1134 metres. He had the most.
He doesn't stop.
57 fantasy points as well.
If you're into that. I liked Cronulla. It's a Cronulla I thought I was going to see at the start of the year.
I'm disappointed by the Dragons in this one. I was watching this game going, why do they... So last year I had them as a team that could really go like push into the 8, and I was excited about them. I look at their team and they fucking let me down. And then this year I'm like, all right, I'm done. Most losses. I've got them, you know, fucking our friends at the tab, whatever the market is. And then they fucking look like world beaters against the Titans, look fucking solid as, bounce back from a slow start. Then they go toe-to-toe with what a lot of people was describing
The heavyweights.
as one of the heavyweights for the competition. And then they toss that up at home.
This could be like a bit of a narrative for the Dragons. You know, they'll be competitive for like 60, 70 minutes, might lose one, get flogged one, win one. You know what I mean? Just very inconsistent. And it probably starts from the top in that club. It just looks like a club that's really disheveled at the moment. You know, like
disheveled.
Yeah, just I don't know who the coach is. The coach got told he's going to, look elsewhere. I don't know. It just looks disjointed.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. It could be a tough season for the Dragons, but we'll see that. We'll see.
Who
on
knows,
the preview,
man?
mates.
They've still got some tough kids in that team, man. They should be like they're better than what they did. They're better than what they are on the
that's
weekend.
why I was disappointed.
They are better.
Yeah.
So I was more disappointed. I thought, I'm sitting there going, fuck,
I
can't be 1 from 8, but I am.
1 from 8. We'll get it right on the preview show on Wednesday. See you then on Thursday.